What's up, guys? Fruit Punch Saber here, and we are
先輩
here at the final
珍し
arc
いです
of
ね
Wata-Chan.
こんなところまで訪ねてくるなんてもしかしてエッチのお誘いですか
So, what we picked up last time is that Wata, Ray-chan, and Jun, they fought the Yakuza and succeeded. And now that the Yakuza have been dealt with, now we need to move on to the final problem, which is Ray-chan and the governor. So this is the last arc of the water route, basically. We're at the FS dorms. The student council president greets us with her usual faint smile. I'm impotent, remember?
そうでしたね確かに先輩はそうでした
She chuckles. I have no idea she knows the truth.
それではどういった要件でしょう
Can you tell us about Ray's
お
past?
願いトウカちゃん私たちどうしても知りたいんだ
So can I put my mouse here?
そうですかええ構いませんよ
So if I put it there, alright, I guess I'll just put it in the corner. She's going to tell us, no question asked. Should you really be telling us so readily?
先輩方は例のことをもっと深く理解したいんですよねどうして隠し立てする必要があるのでしょう
Her expression is a bit unusual. It's like she doesn't even know why we asked her that. The obvious thing would be that she's got some kind of ulterior motive. But from my assessment of her, she's not that type.
渡来さんは私よりレイとの付き合いは長かったはずでしたねでは知りたいのはそれよりも前の青蘭島に来るまでのことでしょうか
うん
なるほどゆっくりお話ししたいところですが残念ながらこちらも少々立て込んでいまして要点だけをお話ししましょうありていに言ってしまえばレイは売られたんです
裏
ええ本島の貧しい家に生まれ長らくそこで暮らしていたようですがやがて立ち行かなくなり借金を返すために青蘭島に来たそういう経緯です
I hold my breath. Ray came to this island for money.
先輩もご存知でしょうが奨学金を目当てに SS に入隊する人は少なくありませんむしろ大半は奨学金目的と言っても過言ではない SS の主な仕事はあくまでセックスですから選抜訓練さえ乗り越えてしまえば基本的には快楽に身を委ねているだけ難しいことではありませんただレイは経緯も特殊でしたからあまりこの島に馴染めなかったようですね
She didn't.
心の底でセックスという行為に嫌悪感を覚えていると言えばいいでしょうか
I feel like I got whiplash from that. Ray, the disciplinary committee chief, one of the top members of the FS, loathes sex. How can that be true? She's been engaging in sexual acts this whole time, even though she deeply despised it? Does that mean she's been putting up with it all along just to support her family? What would that do to a person?
もしレイを助けてあげられる人がいるとすればそれはきっとレイと同じ先輩や渡来さんのような人なんでしょうねですからどうかレイのこと助けてあげてくださいね
So she says, with that same unreadable smile on her face.
というのも難しいかもしれませんね何せ私たちは敵同士のようですから
That's true. She definitely knows who we really are. Why is she not apprehending us? Is she just sympathizing with Ray's cause, or is there something
ジュ
else?
ン君レイちゃんを助けてあげなくちゃね助けてあげようね
Yeah. It feels awfully presumptuous of me to say that after I used and betrayed her. I know that all too well. It's like running someone over, then trying to sell them a wheelchair. Still, if she's suffering and I'm the only one who can help her, then I want to give it my best shot. The same way Hinami did for
う
me.
ん渡来さんあなたにはやはり何か
Huh? She's suddenly making out with Inami. I was so abrupt that I didn't have the chance to react.
何どういうこ
少々男性の味がしますね。
She gives me a sidelong glance and smiles faintly.
ですが、これでわかりました。
とわかったって何が？
実は私、少々変わった特技を持っていまして、粘膜を接触させると相手のことが大まかに理解できてしまうんです。
粘膜接触？
She looks like she's telling the truth.
渡来さん、あなたは心からレイのことを助けたいと思ってくれているんですね。
もちろんそうだけど。
でしたら大丈夫です。なぜならあなたたちには椅子のカゴがついていますから。
This game is pretty ridiculous if you consider the setting. But they've been doing like pretty normal stuff so far. Like, I don't know. This is where it gets like really anime. Chair of Divine Protection? What the heck? She says that with a mysterious, knowing smile. Basically, Wata-Chan has plot armor. That's why she's like probably the best character. Like in terms of fighting capability, Wata-Chan's probably the strongest in the NLNS because she has plot armor, aka Chair of Divine Protection. So she's by default, I guess, the strongest character in the team for NLNS. Alright, so now we're in Rei perspective. She's gonna tell us about her past. This is Rei narrative. It's been 6 years since Dad died. Back then, all 5 of us lived in a small apartment in the Kanto region. Myself, my parents, and my siblings. I was too young to know about it back then, but we were exceptionally poor. Most of my socks had holes in them, and having a side dish with meals was a luxury. We weren't exactly happy either. Dad spent a lot of time away, but even when he was there, he was either violent or asleep. Mom, who would always be complaining about him, if we were ever supporting him, she'd be hysterical. Just to spite him, Mom didn't do any housework, so I had to take care of most of it myself. Naturally, I was going to school as well at the time, but I didn't really fit in there either. The other girls my age were focused on fashion and picking up guys, so they didn't have any time for me and my worn out childish clothes. The only way I got to enjoy myself was by reading shoujo manga. There was a used bookstore in the neighborhood, run by a kind old woman who would let me read manga on the weekends, even if I didn't buy anything. Manga gave me an escape from a difficult life. A daydream about the love stories and come up with my own Cinderella-like tales in my head. I know it was childish, but I fantasized that if I wore pretty clothes and worked hard, I could change my life, just like her. It was after returning home from the bookstore one day that I heard that my dad had died. Apparently he fell down the stairs in a drunken stupor, and no one found him until it was too late. Despite how much she complained about him, our mom was wailing uncontrollably. Meanwhile, my siblings were too young to understand as they looked on, bewildered. I was disillusioned. I hadn't truly loved him for several years, so I didn't cry over him. The only thing I missed was the way he carried me on his shoulders when I was little. This was all I was nostalgic for, and before long, I had no longer had time to dwell on things like that. For reasons that I still don't understand to this day, he accumulated massive amounts of debt. People would come banging on our door late at night. Those days were hell. I gently hold my crying brother and sisters in my arms and whisper soothing words to them. On top of that, just because our dad was gone didn't mean we didn't get beaten. Mom started doing it instead. As the oldest sister, I thought it was my job to protect my little brother and sister, no matter what we went through. I shielded them from my mother. I just endured it all. I told myself that life has its hard times, and this would pass. It was one of those days that I came home from school, and my mom greeted me with a broad grin. She had an unfamiliar man beside her. This was the first time I heard the name Seiren Island. Mom excitedly told me that going there would make my life better. It would let me escape from all I've been suffering through. Finally, I started crying out of happiness. It was like my fairy godmother had finally appeared. What a fool I was. Shortly afterwards, I learned that Seiren Island really was. I don't even remember anymore how I first found out. I couldn't accept it as reality, and I refused to believe it. I think the trauma caused me to block the memory. However, I do remember is weeping uncontrollably in bed that night. It just hurt so much. I hadn't yet reached the sexually maturity age where the law applies. But even though I wasn't required by the law to start having sex, my mom said I had to do it anyway if people told me to. She said I could save everyone that way. But apparently that didn't see me as satisfactory. I didn't make any sounds, and it was plainly clear that I wasn't enjoying it. They saw me as worthless, so my mom abused me more. She said that if my little brother and sister end up homeless, it would be my fault. I studied, desperately. I observed the islanders to learn what sounds I should make and what I should be saying to turn them on. I wasn't good at it, but tackling my weaknesses and trying to improve was something I was always good at. The responses obviously improved when I started imitating what I seen and heard from others. I made incredible amounts of money that way, and I was finally able to buy beautiful clothes like the one I always saw in manga. If I wore pretty clothes and worked hard, I could change my life. Those childish fantasies were actually coming true. Even so though, I didn't know if I liked the person I was becoming. Because of the work I was doing in secret, I naturally couldn't fit in Minazuki Academy. Even though my classmates at the time were underage for the law, they still engaged in sex play in secret. The way they saw it, while it was forbidden for an adult to have sex with underage child, that didn't mean children couldn't have sex with each other. I learned that I could join the FS once I reached the B level classes, so I started striving to be an exemplary student. I took it upon myself to reprimand my peers for breaking regulations, which naturally led me immediately being ostracized. I become even more isolated. In reality, I couldn't stomach them. They would revel in sex, even though they were too young to be allowed to do it, which I came to see as unforgivable. I wanted to tell them that they wanted to do it that badly, they might as well just take my place. I couldn't just come out and say that, of course, since no one wanted to be around me. I've often found myself spending time alone in an empty classroom.
泣いてるの？大丈夫？
That was when a little girl approached me. At first, I thought she must be younger than me, but I remember seeing her carefree face before. I realized she was a classmate of mine. For some reason, she often carried a folding chair around her.
うるさい、チビ。
チビじゃないですけど！
I gruffly shrugged her off. I didn't want to talk to someone like her. I hated that silly, grinning face. I despised that she got to live a trouble-free, innocent life. What about me? Why couldn't I live that kind of life? Meanwhile, I continued having sex in secret. Again and again. Over and over. I slept with more and more men. My sensation gradually grew numb. I told myself that sex is perfectly normal and good. So what could be wrong with what I was doing? I called it procreative activities. It let me convince myself that it was legitimate. I forced myself to align my own values with those of the island. I knew that if I ever let the man get tired of me, everything I had would come crashing down. I always kept an eye on how others acted during sex. I remember what they say so I could imitate them. It's so big. I want it so bad. I never felt this before. My body's hot. No, it's so deep. It feels too good. I never felt like this. I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind. Do it harder. If I intersperse those words and sing with moan, everything seems to work out. I knew that climaxing would feel good, so I taught myself to climax, regardless of who I was with, or what they were doing. If I just told them it felt good, and that I was coming while making my body tremble, they looked satisfied. It was all just faking though. It never really felt good. Nonetheless, I just kept going, mindlessly encouraging myself. I told myself that if I kept working hard, it would all pay off one day. Naturally, that never happened. No one would ever love someone like me. How could they? Sometimes, when I thought I was perfectly calm and composed, I spontaneously burst into tears. What am I working so hard for? If only there were even one person who loved me, then I could work day in and day out for their sake. I knew that I would never get to have my first time with someone I truly loved. I'd never get the chance to learn to please them, and that cut deep. I could never get that back. I wanted to experience a bittersweet romance like normal girls, like the one I saw in manga. That could never happen. One morning, my chair had disappeared. Where did it go? The classroom was silent for a moment, but no one offered a response. They resumed their idle chatting shortly after. I could hear scattered laughter, and I believe it was all directed at me. That was when my heart finally broke. Even after I fled the mainland, I even found myself ostracized here. There was nowhere I could feel like I belonged. I didn't want them to see me cry. I didn't want them to see my weakness. I couldn't stand it, and the tears were welling up.
これ使いなよ。椅子なくしちゃったんだよね。私のこれ貸してあげる。
That immaculate, innocent-looking classmate said something absurd as she held out a folding chair.
ほらほら、遠慮しなくていいよ。
I was dumbfounded, and she sat me down forcibly on the chair. It was like a bizarre dream.
よかった。レイちゃんとは一回お話ししてみたかったんだ。
どうして？
レイちゃん、いつも頑張ってるから。
I wanted to say something in response, but the words didn't come out. For the first time since I came to Staten Island, I cried in front of someone.
レイちゃん、大丈夫？
I thought that no one paid any attention to me. Even my own mother never gave me sincere praise like that. But, faced with those kind words, I couldn't hold back the floodgates. I guess that was all I always wanted.
よしよし。レイちゃんは偉いね。
なんで撫でる？
レイちゃん頑張ってるから。頑張ってる人のことはちゃんと褒めてあげなくちゃ。
If a girl so much smaller than me patting my head like that, it was like she was just playing mommy. But that didn't matter. Her kind words helped calm the turmoil in my heart. I soon became friends with this girl, Hinami. She was pure-hearted, kind, and quite the ditz. She didn't even know our classmates were secretly having sex. I always liked that about her. I never told her about that though. My days were the same as ever, but when I was with her, it felt like everything was okay. In home economics class one day, Hinami made me a phone strap.
なんでウサギ？
レイちゃん寂しがり屋さんだから。いつでも私がそばについてるって思ってくれていいからね。
I brusquely responded at the time, but honestly, I was really happy. I was probably too embarrassed to show my happiness back then. Instead, I decided to convey my feelings for her by making a strap for her too. I was really clumsy, so I had to redo it over and over again. But when I handed it to her, she was overjoyed. Somehow, I was even happier seeing her response to the gift than that I was received the rabbit strap from her. I even started lending her my beloved manga. The first was a shoujo manga set in school. A boy and a girl meet by accident, and then wind up falling in love. A common shoujo manga story. It was something I once yearned for. When I first come to this island with nothing, reading that could cheer me up no matter what happened. However, over time, it became harder and harder to read. It started making me bitter, knowing that it was something I never get to experience. Romantic fantasies like that have no place on an island where random sex is mandatory. Especially since I strove to join the FS. It was completely out of reach. Nonetheless,
私もこんな素敵な恋がしてみたいな。
Hinami could still experience that kind of romance. I couldn't, but maybe she could. I secretly swore to myself, even if a fairy tale romance was no longer possible for me, I would protect Hinami at all costs, like those heroes of justice from when I was little. Even if it meant sacrificing myself, it would make it happen. I would make it happen. Once I would join the FS, I spread the rumor that Hinami had skipped grades and still underage. Any chance I had to keep her away from sex, I took. And yet, even while I was trying to protect Hinami, I was continuing to be the perfect FS member. Things became less and less clear to me.
貴様、どうしてすぐに帰っている？ドスケベセックスはどうした？
I proactively endorsed sex at the SFS.
おかしいかおかしくないかは島の条例が決めることだ。そしてお前は禁忌を犯した。刑を執行する。やれ。
I suppressed my own feelings and punished those who stood up to the law.
ひなみは、まあ、なんだ。ひなみが SS にいると観光客が条例の対象年齢を誤解するかもしれないからな。
I always kept Hinami away from sex. Meanwhile, I went on imitating the moans I heard from others. I spent so long trying to reconcile those two ideals that I no longer have any idea which is right. What about me? What should I do? What should I have done? See, how the author is gonna drop a bombshell of a very, very sad backstory of Rei and expect me to like Wata. What the fuck, dude? Dude, I want to protect her, man. I want to protect Rei. That's what it makes me want to do. I want her to have her Cinderella happy ending. I want someone to be there for her. To be her prince. To let her experience the normal romance that she always strived for. That's messed up. And she won't get that in this route. She won't get it at all. How the author's gonna do that to us? Does he hate Rei? Does he hate Rei fans? What the hell? How are you gonna do this to us, dude? And not give her the Cinderella ending that she deserves? How? Like I said, there is a Rei route in Nukitashi too. A couple of people said they didn't like it, even though Rei's their favorite character. I don't care if the Rei route in Nukitashi 2 is a boring shoujo manga romance. She deserves every bit of that. If she could be happy and smiling all the time in Nukitashi 2 in her route, I think it's worth it. The problem is Nukitashi is a gag game. It's mostly for gags and laughs. So I'm a little bit, I don't know. Are they gonna drop something so serious of a backstory like Rei on the viewers? On a comedy? What the hell? On a comedy visual novel? Man, she deserves everything. She deserves everything. Alright, let's keep going though. We gotta finish up the water route. The illegal sex industry has been dealt with, and scandals have sprung up everywhere. But time doesn't stand still. Of course, the illegal sex industry incidents made for big news on Staten Island as well. And this doesn't affect daily lives of most people, and the island is filled with the echoes of moans again today. Up until now, I'm regarded sex seekers as my enemies, but now I'm very curious. What does it mean if Ray despises sex? There are probably other people in hiding that have violent objections to copulation. That could be... I had to do that. The moans were getting too long, bro. There could be countless people out there that moan loudly while despising wanton sex. And she might only be the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, since Hinami's been with us all the time lately. She stares at me. What's wrong?
いや、Wata-Chan がたまにお姉さんっぽく見えるなって思ってたけど、兄もちょっと大人っぽくなった。
Really? If anything, I've been made to feel more childish lately.
そういうとこだよ。前はこんなこと言ったらすぐ調子乗ってたくせに。お前、本当に兄か？
I most definitely am your real bro.
本当の兄なら今から学校サボって七瀬さん呼びつけて 3P してくれるはず。
I think you have a very few very wrong ideas about me, little Missy. You're such a damn enigma sometimes. We head for school, avoiding people as always. As much as she likes to make cracks about threesome this, threesome that, she really does like girls. She's not the easiest to approach, so she's been avoiding sex up until now. But that lifestyle is not one which this island permits. In order to be a respectable member of society on this island, you have to have sex even if you don't want to. How is that considered respectable? And here in reality, I doubt most people would see it that way.
Yeah, 少年。
I hear a voice out of the blue. Governor Hitsuyoda.
県知事、兄、なんか悪いことしたの？条例違反とかした？
As if you haven't, you little shit.
兄弟仲がいいんだな。
He grins and comes over to
うわ
us.
うわうわうわ。
Asa abruptly cowers down, hiding behind me.
おっと、怖がらせてしまったか？
She just doesn't like being around aggressive men.
言うじゃないか。
I'm surprised you knew I'd be here.
性行為を避けて投稿していると分かっていれば探すのもたやすい。話をしないか、少年。
Funny you asked that. I've been wanting to have a word with you myself.
さすがに静かだな。こんな時間帯に出歩くことはあまりないんじゃないか？
Yeah, that's true. I see Asa off to school and find myself walking a familiar route with Hitsuyoda. It's well past the start of normal business hours, and there are no excitable throngs of students around either. You sure this is a good idea? The whole country's talking about what's happened on this island, and you're out here taking a stroll like it's nothing?
だからこそだよ。まさか噂の県知事がこうも堂々と出歩いているとは思わないだろう。
You got some big round hairy cajones. Kahunas.
そうでなくては務まらないからな。
He said that in a completely detached manner. As much as I tried to read him, I can't get a bearing on what he's really feels deep down. So, you wanted to talk, right?
そうだな。単刀直入に言おうか。君に私の右腕になってほしい。
Me?
ああ。君はこの国の人間たちを愚かしいとは思わないか？釣り竿にぶら下げられたスキャンダルにたやすく飛びつき、次の餌を与えればまたすぐそちらに食いつき、まるで獣だ。ドスケベ条例を批判しながら与えられた餌を卑しく貪っているだけ。まるで理性というものがない。この島の人間と何ら変わらない。 そのような愚民などこの島同様に性で支配しコントロールしてしまえばいいと、そうは思わないか。
What do you mean?
言葉通りの意味だ。青蘭島に敷いたドスケベ条例、これを押し広げ日本全国をセックスで支配する。
He's crazy. That's ridiculous. Controlling the entire country through sex? If that's your idea of a joke, I'm not laughing.
だろうな。何せこれは冗談ではない。今やこの島の人間はドスケベ条例を当然のものと受け入れている。
He
な
has
ぜ
a
それ
point.
が国には通用しないと思う？
There was a period on Silent Island when this law didn't exist. But this man, Toshiaki Hishioda, is single-handedly responsible for bringing about all the massive changes the law helped to cultivate. The thought of him actually being able to achieve such a thing is rather terrifying.
だが大事をなすには英雄が必要だ。圧倒的な性の力を持って愚民を従える英雄が、その英雄というのが君だよ、立花淳之介君。
What? You overestimating me. I don't have that kind of power.
ある。前に言っただろう。君が持っている圧倒的な力、秘めておくにはあまりにも惜しい。それを行使すれば誰もが君に従うというのに。
He's dead serious. This man isn't just screwing around. A bead of sweat drips down my forehead, and I swallow to quench the dryness in my throat. Ha! I managed to laugh. Control the entire nation with my cock? Bullshit! That's the kind of delusional idea a 14-year-old would cook up. How could you even believe I can do that?
できるさ。今この国を騒がせているのは何だ？下半身の欲望に負け裏風俗に手を出した役人ども。そうだろ。国を牛耳る連中でさえ肉欲にはかなわない。裏を返せば肉欲を利用すれば国を牛耳ることもできる。当然の摂理だろ。
It's delusional. But in his eyes, he sees his little delusion as destined to play out in reality.
この対岸を成就させるため君に協力してほしい。
Are you insane? You tell this to someone you know is an anti-copulator? If you think you're in any position to negotiate just because you helped me bring down the illegal sex industry, you're wasting your time. I already saved you once. I don't owe you a goddamn thing. I've always been fighting for one cause, for Asane, Hinami, Nanase, Hotori, and myself to be able to live in peace without sex involved. And now you have the audacity to come to me for help?
取り計らってもいい。
What?
与えられた環境を当然のものと思考停止せず、理性を持って自ら生き方を選び取れるものを私は愛する。君の妹やあの可愛らしい彼女が無秩序な性の中に身を置くことを拒否するのなら、特例として保護することもできる。私にはその力がある。
He says he'll protect Asane, Hinami, and all my companions from the law. He says we can reject sex without love.
だから私と共に国を作らないか、少年。
What exactly is this nation he envisions anyway? I hear moaning from somewhere in the distance. Okay. Man, they really love that sound effect, don't they? Ever since I returned to this island, I've seen it through varying lenses. As an individual person, as an anti-copulator front member, and as an FS member, the islanders all seem to be happy. I'm sure there are those who have no choice but to conform, but the majority of them are grateful for their lot and seem to enjoy living their lives. If people like me were to be permitted to reject sex, perhaps it wouldn't be such a bad thing. However, I can't help you.
ほう。
I'll give you one thing. The islanders do seem to be happy living under your law. But you know, that doesn't mean everyone is. There are people who can't adapt to this law, but certainly can't reject it. So they have no choice but put their bodies under discount in order to survive, like it or not.
だがそうすることで生きながらえたのだろう。のたれ死ぬよりはマシというものじゃないか。
Jun's talking about Ray. He's talking about Ray's situation, that she hates the idea of having sex with everybody. And she can't say no, no matter what. Right? But she has to do it in order to receive the FS scholarship, to pay for her little siblings, to live a normal life that she could not. Right? Because they're... Man, Ray parents, man... I wish we could just slap them, bro. Like, what the hell? Her mom sold her kid? As a sex slave. Really early age. That pisses me off a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what the hell? Man, Ray really deserved everything. He's talking about Ray, though. I guess get back on topic of the story so so we don't delay it too much. Yeah. We were talking about her situation. This man is no less persistent than I expected.
どんな方法を用いても全員を救えるわけじゃない。仕方あるまい。
Yeah, nothing indeed. You really can't make everyone in society happy, no matter how you try to control them. If a method to make everyone happy existed, things would never have gotten like this. So, you let things get this way for the sake of the silent majority. And I'm sure you intend to keep the status quo.
ああ、そうだろうな。
Even if he were to scoop up and provide special protection for individuals like me, there would still be some of us who slip through the cracks. A list of exceptions can only be so long. You're not necessarily in the wrong. For a statesman like yourself, it's the right thing to do. But my companions, the people I'm trying to save, they aren't a part of your voting majority.
だから私には従わないと。
No. Under this law, some people have been persecuted so much that it's taken their lives. There are still people suffering from that law now. This minority has been utterly forsaken by the law. Even if some are granted exceptions, it won't change the underlying nature of the law. The needs of the many will continue to outweigh the needs of the few. So I cannot take a side.
数少ない仲間のためであれば、多くの人間が不幸になっても構わないと。そう言うんだな。
You said it yourself. There's no method to run society which will make everyone happy. If someone important to me is going to face hardship, then I'm going to want to save them more than anyone else. That's all there is to it. If you agree a poll of 1,000 people, I imagine 999 would agree with Hitsuyoda here. But the one I want to protect was the one who reached out to me. I want to be that sort of person.
なるほど。主張は分かった。だが、どうやって条例を潰す？
By any means necessary. If I don't have to weigh out now, I'll figure something out soon enough.
決意は揺るがないか。ならば、一つ賭けをしないか。
Bet?
そうだ。裏風俗も潰し、治安問題は解決の目を見た。残る問題は、文のだけだ。おとなしくよこせ、と言って聞くような玉じゃないだろう。ならば私は、実力行使で君から文のを奪い返す。それが嫌なら、私を打ち倒してみせろ。もしそんなことができたのなら、ドスケベ条例撤廃を考えてもいい。
Are you serious?
ああ、嘘をつくのはいつも善人だ。そうだろう。
Well, if we're betting on this, just tell me one thing. If I lose, what happens then?
そんなこと、聞かなくても分かっていることだろう。
I suppose not. He's a villain. He wouldn't balk at achieving his objectives by any means necessary. So there's only one demand he has.
少年、君に私の右腕になってもらう。
Nukitashi. That's a long Nukitashi. So, there you have it. After school, With all my companions gathered in the base, I online the discussion with Governor Hitsuyoda.
実力行使っていうことはつまり
SS と SHO を使って文野を取り返しに来るってことじゃないかしらね。
ふんふん。大変だ、大事だよ。
申し訳ございません。
ムベムベ、文乃ちゃんが気にすることじゃないですよ。我々は条例違反の犯罪者グループなんですから、誰か一人の責任ってことはありません。
She's right. We're all outlaws here. Once all that illegal sex industry shit got whipped up, they would have had to come for us eventually. It's nothing for you to be hung up over, Fumino.
ですが、父は私一人にとどまらず、橘さんのことまで。
Ha! I'm not worried about that. Hell, I ought to be thanking him. He's giving me a potential means of destroying the law. All I gotta do is bring down the FS and the show, and then whoop that fucker's ass. Boom! Everything resolved. Happy ending, roll credits.
簡単に言ってくれるわね。
But it's better than trying to come up with some convoluted plan, right?
まあそうかもね。これで文野を引き渡す必要もなくなるわけだし。
でもそういえばあのおじいさんからの連絡なかなか来ませんね。
ねえ、どうも連絡が取れないみたいなのよね。何かあったのかしら。
No point pondering over. We don't even know that old fart's name after all. Anyway, we have a means of crushing the law now. That's enough for me.
そうだね。これで今度こそ全部終わりだもんね。よーし、みんなで頑張ったらきっと大丈夫だよ。勝てる勝てる。しかし勝てる負けるってどうやって勝負するんでしょう。決闘でもするんですか？
He said he's gonna come for Fumino with everything he has. So that means he'll probably be pitting the FS and show against us. Asa, give me a report on those FS stations, would you kindly?
はいはいと。あれ、なんだこれ。
What's wrong? Something odd's going on.
うん。配置はまだ確認してないんだけど、なんかネットで変なのが話題になってて、日本全土ドスケベ化計画って。
Nationwide? Wait, it can't be. I found myself recalling what he said. Rule the nation with sex. Has he already put the strategy into motion?
すごい話題になってますよ。ホットな話題が全部ドスケベ一色です。
My heart leaps into my throat as I race to check my tablet. Everywhere I look online, I see one word plastered everywhere: perversion. It's an overwhelming flood of information, but I managed to regain my composure and try to pick up the crucial bits. Evidently, there was some press conference held earlier announcing something called the National Perversion Conversion Plan. It's just that it says on the tin, a plan to enact perversion throughout all of Japan by expanding the scope of the perverted sex law from local to national. There's even been a promotional video made and spreading on social media like wildfire. And they come up with quite the tagline for it. This summer, let's make sex big in Japan. I'm about to shit molten lava right out of my asshole.
なんだかすごいことになっちゃってるね。散々言われてるよ。名前を呼んではいけないあの島。得意点 S。敗戦国の末路。童貞で有名なイラストレーターの人がめっちゃ煽られまくってますよ。これで童貞卒業できますねって。
Hitsuyoda told me that the masters are all rubes. Give them red meat and they're pounced right on it. Keep giving them bait and they continue to bite.
誰も真に受けてはいないっぽいね。大喜利大会のネタとしか思ってない感じ。
The reaction we're seeing is exactly what he described.
私のハメイトが全然伸びない。こんな面白いのに。へへ、私はもう100リハメイト行きましたよ。
Hame! Retweets! Risky? Delete your account!
すみません。どうせ実現しないと思ったらつい便乗したくなって。
Never going to happen? Weren't you listening? What the governor says he wants, he will absolutely find a way to get.
そうかな。私も美咲ちゃんの言う通りだって思うな。
Why on earth would you think that?
だって私たちが勝つんだから。日本を全部エッチな国にするなんてできっこないよ。
ジュン、これはワタちゃんに一本取られちゃったわね。
Yeah, touche.
たまーに確信ついてくるんだよね、このロリ先輩。ロリじゃないですけど。ついでに言えばこっちの頭おかしいデブも同じこと考えてたわけだ。ラリじゃないですけど。
You're absolutely right. This national perversion conversion plan bullshit ain't gonna pass. We won't let it. They can bandy that bullshit around all they want. It doesn't change our objective. We have to kick the governor ass. No. We have to kick the governor ass and crush the perverted sex law. Nothing more, nothing less. We determined to win. That's all we need to think about now. So, Asa, what are the FS up to?
ああ、そうだった。どれどれ。これはね、一言で言えば、
Sure.
やばいね。村風俗の問題も解決したからかな。SS の人間、9割以上学園とその周辺に配置されてる。
That's definitely not normal. I wasn't in the FS for long, but those numbers don't sound right. The FS aren't just posted at the school, but around the whole island. If they got the bulk of their forces concentrated here, then
つまりこれは文野を奪還するために配置されてるってこと？
I think it'd be safe to assume that they're quite an enemy. There's only 5 people between us. We're outmanned, outskilled, and outgunned to a ridiculous degree.
立花さん。
Fumino. I'm ready to surmise that she wants to say from the look on her face.
これはもとより私の父が始めたこと。今こそ何とぞ文野を皆様のためにお役立てください。
I really could do with even just one more person right now. But she's the main target for them. Sending her out there to fight would be suicidal. If we were to use the route only open at low tide, we could avoid directly confronting the FS and escape into the hillside. But right now, it's not available to us. How's the real gate looking?
使えるけど、でもやめた方がいいよ。出口のところに SS が待機してる。
What? Did they manage to find out about the route? We made use of it enough times that it wouldn't be implausible. The FS are no fools. They probably managed to put 202 together. But if they knew about that route, they probably also managed to figure out the location of the space, since they're directly connected. They could very well be waiting for us all to exit so they can force their way in to nab Fumino. If that's how it is, then Fumino, can I ask you to lend us your strength on this occasion?
もちろん、何なりとご命令ください。文野は強い女ですから。
I think that's her catchphrase. She always say this a lot later in the visual novel. Well, I guess this route. She's a strong, sugoi onna. What she said.
もちろん、何なりとご命令ください。文野は強い女ですから。
Sugoi onna desu. Thanks. Can I ask just one thing though? I prefer if you stop worrying about the fact that your father did this. We're all in the same boat here. As like-minded comrades, we all have an objective to achieve. Can you fight with us to help us achieve it? A strange lights flicker in her eyes as she stares at me. Back when we first met, I would have called her expression emotionless, but now I can tell she is brimming with determination.
幾重にも辛酸をなめ、七難八苦を越え、観南深苦の果て、満願成就に至る。
She holds her petite hand to her chest.
承知いたしました。我が瞳、宝珠の加護は皆様と共にございます。
Thanks. That's reassuring.
文野ちゃん、こちらをどうぞ。SS のスナイパーライフルです。
A sniper rifle? Where'd you get that?
こんなこともあろうかと先日射撃訓練中に一丁ばかり拝借してきてたんですよね。ふみのちゃんが喜ぶかなと思って。
ありがとうございます、美咲さん。必ずや皆様のお背中をお守りします。
You do some reckless shit sometimes, Satori. Though we're about to do something even more reckless than that. The 6 of us about to take on the FS in the show, with the intention of winning, no less. We're so outmanned and outgunned compared to them that it's almost depressing.
よーし、先輩頑張っちゃうぞ。
But none of us are depressed right now. Nukitashi. It's time. We wait for the veil of darkness to descend and slowly stand up. If we're going to take on the FS with this much of a numerical disadvantage, best we can do is so undercover on this moonless night. Nanase, you got the TAEs ready?
ええ、もちろん。
Hitori, you're our transportation. Get us a vehicle to storm Hitsuyoda Place with.
合点です。
Fumino, can I ask you to provide cover for us? Clear a path for us with that weapon.
お任せを。
Asane, your ops are going to be invaluable to us. Our ability to break through riding is on you.
はいよ。まあ任しといてよ。
After giving each member their orders, I take a few TAEs for myself and holster the handgun I got in the FS. Looks like I'm stuck with this gun until the very end. You could probably call that fate. This is the final battle. Everything has to be settled here.
じゅんくん、私は何したらいいかな。
Yeah, Hinami, you sis.
お？これ？
We may only be a group of 6, but we're the ultimate group of 6. No matter how many enemies we're up against, we will not be defeated. Let's get out there, break through the FS and show, and kick Hikuto the ass! Everyone nods back enthusiastically. We finish our preparation and step into the elevator with the fire determination in our hearts. We're heading for the 4th floor. The 1st floor shutter are already down, and the 4th is the least guarded. Well, the least guarded in relative terms. That doesn't mean the FS presence on that floor is going to be particularly lax. First, we need to break through there and get outside the
じゅん
school.
くん。
Hinami gently squeezed my hand. Are you scared?
全然。じゅんくんと一緒だから。
I see. Well, I feel the same.
きっとみんなで笑い合えるような終わりにしようね。
Surely she also means her as well. Yeah. The elevator eventually comes to a stop. Time to get serious. As the cold steel door slides open, our battle officially begins.
はあ眩しい。
The first move is ours. I throw a stun grenade right into the middle of FS waiting for us. Gotcha! I seize the opportunity to knock out the guards with handguns watching the elevator. Nanase, smoke grenades! Company coming any minute now!
言われなくても。
The guard fills to white smoke, obscuring the enemy vision. In battle, the first move you make can determine the course of the things. Before they know what hit them, we're gonna break through. Right, time to split according to plan. Nanase, lead Hattori and Fumino down the east stairway to the designated area. You can do that, right?
見くびらないでよ。あんたがいない間は私がリーダーやってたんだから。行くわよ二人とも。逃がす
My
か。
bad. I just
こん
skipped
な
it.
煙目を凝らせば。はいどすこーい。悲しいかな。近接戦において物を言うのは体重なんですよね。悲しいかな。
参りましょう、美咲さん。
The three of them run off. No need to worry here. I'm sure they'll be fine as long as they stick to the plan. Hinami, Asane, we're gonna break through here as well.
西海岸より敵性機多数接近中。SS 式ハンドガン装備。発砲許可も下りている模様。いっぱい来るってどうしよう。反対方向に逃げる。
No, if we outnumbered, better that we confuse them. I throw some more eggs to ramp up the smoke even more. That should make it impossible to get through without having goggles like mine.
どうするの。いくらここの煙を濃くしても下に行けばすぐバレるし、そうなったら挟み撃ちだよ。
Trust me, your bro got this shit.
反交尾勢力。このような煙程度、僕のデータの前には無意味だぞ。
I see a few familiar faces coming, my former comrades. If they're participating in crucial mission like this, that is certainly reason to celebrate. But please, forgive me. Ah!
なんすか？
Rookie! Shit! We just had my teammate shot! We got a damn anti-coupulator Benedict Arnold among us!
そんな。ベッカちゃん？
Another one down? That fucking little traitor!
裏切り者だと？バカな、SS 内にそんな。僕のデータにないぞ。
How many of them are there? Fucking hell! This is like a true to life performance. I didn't even think my skills would be this effective when infiltrating the FS. Move over Joaquin Phoenix, cause the next Joker to win the Oscar is gonna be me. They start to panic. This was totally out of line with their expectations. Even with their eyes initially burning with desire to snuff out the anti-copullator front, now they're growing more and more tainted with suspicion.
何？悪いこと考えるね。
Just trying to outwit them. More importantly, their field of vision is obstructed now, so I want you to... I whispered into Asane's ear.
本当悪いこと考えるね。妹にお任せあれ。
Alright, Hinami, get ready to run.
うん、何かするんだね。
Yep, a cunning and subtle one. The current branch of SS are more concerned with being wary of their own allies instead of searching for the anti-copullator front. It must be disconcerting to have your field of vision obscured and think there are submersive elements to deal with. Allow me to take away that unease. It's time. Asane, you're on!
聞け！スパイは我々をおびき出すためのおとりだった。反交尾勢力はすでに校舎を出た。全員すぐに正門へ向かえ。奴らを逃がすな。
なんと、逃がさないっす。
They rushed down the stairs. They definitely took the false info. Hook, line, and sinker. Being distrustful of their group, make it easy for them to swallow clear orders from above. Good things they're chumps.
今の声、レイちゃん？どうやったの？
My sister nothing if not a talent of voice mimicry.
ああ、声張りすぎて疲れた。天皇担当の仕事じゃないでしょこれ。
Sorry about that. But we got to escape route now. Let's get out of school while it's getting good. We used the confusion and mayhem to make our way to the first floor entryway. Thanks to the training not being permitted to wear the FS uniform, we've been able to get here under their noses. Pretty lucky break for. What the fuck?
おっと避けましたか。
反交尾勢力。お手柄ですリン。よく気づきましたね。
It's those damn Hanamura sisters!
アホの姉さんや SS の脳筋連中は騙せても、私の目はごまかせませんよ。食らいなさい。花丸姉妹の百式バイノーラル SQC 殺法。
They moved to either side and pointed their guns at me in a pincer attack. Hinami! Asane! Stay out of their line of fire!
ですが不可能。伏せど隠れど間近にいるかのごとく敵を挟んでうがち貫く。それこそが花丸バイノーラル殺法の真髄ならば。
Hinami, look out! One instant later, it is not Hinami, but the younger Hanamura sister, who collapsed to the floor after taking a bullet.
嘘、まさか商談させて当てたと言うんですか？あんなパイプ椅子で。
Okay. That's what I asked Hinami to carry with her. The Senate Council had mentioned the other day that she carries a chair of divine protection. Had no idea what she meant, but thinking back, there really has been a lot of uncanny coincidences involving Hinami and her chair. In every battle, and even just in the course of ordinary life, she's done incredible things which led me to only one conclusion. When she's holding that chair, she's protected by some sort of power. In fact, her unluckiest moments have only happened when she wasn't carrying it with her. There's a saying in Japan derived from Shinto belief, 8 million gods. It represents the idea that there is a god dwelling within everything existing in nature. By that logic, surely there must be a god that dwells within even chairs. And if there is, a little girl who carries her beloved chair on her person, around the clock must be loved by that god, who affords her divine protection in return.
なんだろう、不思議だな。椅子持ってるといつもうまくいくな。なんだか負ける気がしなくなってきたな。
Mutiki desu. She's invincible with the chair.
そんな花まらないパイプ椅子でこの私に勝てると。あれ、弾がジャムってます？
She got more plot armor than Batman. Hanamura is prompted, owned by a single blow from the chair, collapsing without any further resistance. It didn't look like a very forceful attack, but apparently she hit a vital spot.
おー、やった、やっつけちゃったよ、ジュン君。強い？もしかして私強い？
Yeah, you're the strongest and the cutest.
ジュン君も最高に強くてかっこいいよ。
I pat her head, and she smiles happily.
チェアハートアタック！
They slip through the entrance and run through the courtyard with Hinami in the lead. By our rights, the vanguard should be solely my responsibility, but Hinami's steady advance while holding a chair is formidable. No matter how many enemies stands in her way, their bullets ricochet off her chair and knock them out. Even in close combat, as the enemy moves to attack, for some reason, the chair always counters whatever they throw at her and leaves a string of unconscious foes in her wake. See, I told you, man. Hinami is the strongest member of the NONS because of her plot armor. The chair, divine with protection, whatever. It's not like we're doing anything in particular. It's more like the enemies are gunning for us 1 minute and on the floor in the next. The chair of divine protection is not to be taken lightly. Another one falls victim to the chair.
ジュン君、ジュン君、私初めてお姉さんっぽい活躍してる気がするな。すごく嬉しいな。
Yeah, you're amazing. That's the Onesan I fell in love with. She's basically unstoppable. It feels like it's be smooth sailing if she keeps it up.
兄、10時の方向に適正機。なんだけど、これってまさか。
Hinami! What was that? That definitely wasn't a bullet, which just got deflected by her chair.
危うく自分の武器にやられてしまうところでした。
President!
こんばんは、先輩。お待ちしていました。
She's in a different league from the others. I can't drop my guard for even a millisecond around her. My aim and stance are perfect as I fire at her, or so I thought.
いい腕ですね。本当にやめてしまったのが惜しいほどに。
She didn't even dodge. It just didn't hit her. How the hell did she?
これも返すのね。素晴らしいです。でしたらこうするとどうでしょう。
A stream of untraceable attack rains down Hinami's chair. Hinami eventually loses out onto the onslaught and loses her hold on the folding chair. Shit! Her divine protection! You fuck! I squeeze in between to take the chair place as her shield. The chair was flung off, crashes down precisely where the president was. Like it had a will on its own, deliberately trying to throw itself at Hinami attacker.
まさかこれほどだなんて。あなた方は本当に私を驚かせてくれますね。
But now that reliable chair is no longer at hand. We are facing an incredibly overpowered opponent. We're done for, aren't we? The anxious thought crosses my mind, but I can't get swallowed up by thoughts like that now. Time to hone my senses, purge on unnecessary thoughts. I can't be beaten here, especially not for the sake of the person who taught me this. There's gotta be some way out of this. I'll make one if I have to. Something I can infer from the intel in my goggles. There it is, a remote possibility, but... Take that!
閃光弾。なるほど。そんな手も使うのですね。しかし私には。
Now! Nanase! She appears in a president blind spot and tosses a bird-line immobilization egg at her. She can't respond to the surprise attack while she's blinded by the stun grenade. And yet she managed to shoot that down. She's practically robotic for how honed her senses are in battle.
足は手に入ったわ。ここは私が引き受けるから行って。 七瀬さん、でも相手は。
Alright, hold on. I gotta censor this. So, hold on.
大丈夫よ朝ちゃん。私逃げ回ることに関しては純よりずっと先輩なんだから。
Okay. I had to censor that. There was sex dolls. So, it's like, Hinami Rao's been pretty pure. Which kind of makes sense because that's what Rei was protecting, right? The purity of Hinami. It's been pretty pure besides the Hinami sex scene. But besides that, there hasn't been a lot of edgy stuff on the screen. Which is kind of out of place at this visual novel, if you ask me. But I like it a lot. And yeah, I like it a lot. Alright.
足は手に入ったわ。ここは私が引き受けるから行って。
七瀬さん、でも相手は。
大丈夫よ朝ちゃん。私逃げ回ることに関しては純よりずっと先輩なんだから。
Senpai. Damn. I deploy multiple inflatable dolls to draw the president's attention. She's all yours. Let's go. I grab Hinami's chair as quickly as I can. And we both break through the front door.
どうか礼をお願いいたしますね、先輩。
I get the feeling I heard her say that in the clan war. Alright, we're out. We make it out of the school grounds and onto the street. It's almost like all the close combat we escaped was only an illusion. The area is totally deserted. Maybe they wanted the school to be the site of the final endgame. Well, all for the better for us.
進行方向に敵へなし。振り切ったよ、兄。
Great. Where's the sit rep on Hotori and Fumino?
現在正門側を大きく迂回してこちらに。敵へ補足。後方より接近中。何この速さ、おかしい。
こんばんは。
Oh shit! Hinami! The instant she draws near us, she launches a formidable attack. Even Hinami using her chair as a shield, she gets knocked onto her ass. It's Onobuta, the one-woman strike force. She's inhumanly fast. You little!
ダメダメ。そんなわかりやすくさっき漏らしたらイクはすぐ感じちゃうんだから。
A moment my brain has processed her dodging my attack, I can discern her blade coming right at me. Just before her blade hits its target, Hinami like sweep me with her chair, knocking me to the ground.
はりゃかわされちゃった。運がいいんだね。転んで避けるなんて。けどもう逃げられないよ。エッチが嫌って言ってる人に無理やりおまんこしちゃうの。イクすごく興奮しちゃう。
I thought you asshole was supposed to be gumming for Fumino.
そうみたいだけど。イクはそれよりもおちんちんの方が気になるもん。
Was that a fact? Well, in about 2 seconds, you're probably gonna realize why Fumino should have been your top priority. Ikuko's sword was abruptly flung away.
レッド参上。
She's gonna run her over.
マジカルミラーゴ、ちょっとブレーキブレーキ。ステーキステーキ。
Gee, Misaki's crazy.
頭おかしいの？
Onobuta loses the game of chicken and dives off the roadside. Hinami, Azune, get in quick! I jump in through the back and see Fumino wielding her sniper rifle in a perfect stance. Nice shooting, Fumino.
我が瞳は皆様方をお守りするためにございますから。
ジュン君を助けてくれてありがとね。
I really,
偉い偉い。
I like this visual novel action scenes so much, dude. It's been a while. Maybe, I don't even know when was the last time. I think the last time I had a visual novel, they actually uses guns, right? Modern technology. It was probably Rewrite, because Kotaro uses a gun, right? When he was joining the military or whatever that thing was called. Besides Rewrite, what was the last time and Rewrite was like over a decade ago, dude. Like maybe a decade ago. When was the last visual novel action scene with modern technology about this magical bullshit? Besides Hinami, chair or plot armor? Hey, I really like it. The action scenes on this anime is really good.
よー
I call it anime
し
visual
では
novel.
ではこのまま一浦さん家にレッツラ特艦です。ことよせ文野、ここで確保さえすれば。
Loud screams peal through the forest at night. I retreat into the magical mirror to reload. Christ, we shoot one and another pops up.
こっちの方に SHO のガードマンたっぷり当ててるとはね。たった6人相手に大人げなくない？
Doesn't matter who he's up against or how many. He's not going easy and he's not taking chances. That's how he is. Just keep your head down and get up front with Hinami. They could be gunning for you if you stay here. I shoot one of the pursuing guards through the wide aperture of the rear door. There's no end to them. It's honestly a little draining to think about. But we have one specific reason why they're being dealt with so efficiently.
5、4、3、2、1、
The reason is Fumino.
4、3、2、1。
We hear yet another guard scream somewhere off in the distance. I can't even make it out myself, but she's been targeting the enemy snipers. In the dark of night, the road is terribly visibility, and as the pavement is rough too, the vehicle is constantly swaying. These should be the worst possible condition for sniping.
3、2、1。狙撃手らしき敵へ、さらに1名無力化。
And yet, Fumino's sniping is perfectly accurate. With her superhuman powers to concentration, every single release shot has unparalleled accuracy. With each pull of the trigger, the enemy combat compatibility is whittled away. There's probably no worse foe the enemy could be facing. When I think that such a girl of tender young age has had to fight like this, is mortifying.
2、1。
However, right now, nothing could be more reassuring. This will bring this entire battle to an end. For Fumino's sake, and even more so that my precious friends will never have to cry again.
逆賊風情が
Don't ask for your opinion! Wait, didn't ask for your opinion. I take them down for one shot. A bright light suddenly flashes off in the distance in the corner of my vision, and the reflection of a sniper rifle sight.
抜かったな
What? The gunshots sound awfully close. Fumino shouts something, and then sometime seems to stand still. She shifted in the direction of her sniper rifle to focus on an enemy directly in front of me. Her eye shows no hesitation whatsoever. Despite the gun barrel length, she managed to blast away the pursuing soldier. Then, the instant she directs her nozzle back in the enemy sniper direction, there's a gunshot flash from far away. The scene, I'm not gonna lie. When I first read this, I was jaw dropped. I'm like, Fumino, no! I was so shocked. I guess I shouldn't, because I saw that coming in the Misaki route, that she was going to lose her eye. But I thought maybe she only lost her eye in the Misaki route, not the water route. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I was like, oh my god, they shot her eye. The 7mm sniper riot bullet pierces through the scope and into her right eye, blasting Fumino out of the cabin. She tumbles to the ground.
言ってください。
She's undaunted. A tremendous amount of blood is pouring from her eye, but that doesn't faze her.
ミノは強い女です。ですから、どうかあなた様の目的のために足を止めないでください。
So remember in one of my earlier videos, when I was doing the water route, I said that I already told you guys I finished the game and that Fumino was one of my favorite characters. This is one of the reasons why. She's a strong young woman, dude. She's strong. She got shot in the eye by a sniper rifle. But all she cared about is her comrades, making it to their goal. Dude, Fumino! She readies her weapon, yet again nonetheless. The reflection of the sight of the distance disappear. Even with such drastic state, her aim remains true. Her functioning eyes wholeheartedly focus on what's ahead.
言ってください、立花さん。ふみのちゃんは私が。
But
言って。あのバカ自分がターゲットって分かってないんだよ。それがこんな無茶して。ああ、もう本当バカなんだから。ふみのは私が分からせておくから、兄たちは言って。
Fumino, Hotori, Asune are all telling us to go. This is to achieve our objectives, to fulfill our long-felt desires. I can't let their plea go to waste. Hinami, let's get going!
わたちゃん、兄は任せたよ。 兄はWata-Chanお願いね。
任せて。
We got this. We shout together and leap out of the truck. The magical mirror does a handbrake turn and head towards Fumino to retrieve her. Hitsuyoda Mansion is just ahead. Let's go!
道を開けろ
Hinami and I run along the mountain trail. I force the guard standing in our way to yield with my handgun. Hinami mops up anyone I missed with her folding chair. Not far now. I enrage my endorphins. My senses are working overtime. I can sense the hostility and bloodlust from the enemy, even without my goggles telling me. That's it! That house over there!
止まりなさい。条例にあだなす逆賊め。
Koki Simba. Surely this woman and I are fated into constantly running to each other.
ここまで来るとは。ですが、その悪運もおしまいです。全員構えて。
That's what you think! I make a beeline for her without stopping running. My heart rate reflexively goes into overdrive, making it possible to ignore the numerical advantage in this huge battle. Hinami's chair technique is as precise as ever, making yeah, this little girl in her chair taking down grown adults from the show. Military forces, basically. What the heck? Making light work of their approaching enemies. However,
さすがにやるようですが、この数は抜けませんよ。
the difference in number is just insane. This will end up being a war of attribution. Even if we were able to defeat them all and break through, we wouldn't be able to go on any
ジュ
further.
ン君、モクモクするやつ。
Yeah,
今さらこんな目くらましが。イスパーチ。ジュン君、ここは私が食い止めておくから、今のうちに行っちゃって。
within the smoke, I score a shot on the leg of the guard protecting the entrance to the estate. Funny, usually it'd be the guy saying that to the girl.
私、ジュン君の先輩。彼女だから。ジュン君のことずっと全力で支えるよ。
Hinami beams me a smile, undaunted by being deep in enemy
だ
territory.
から、お願いね。
Yeah, leave it to me. I'll settle everything.
頑張れ、ジュン君。かっこいいぞ。
You're the cutest in the world too, Hinami. Hang in there.
100人力だよ。よーし、ここは通さないからな。
I run through the estate corridor by myself now. Finally, I finally made it here. A mere 6 of us passed the baton on to each other, defeating all the FS and show along the way, and made it to the mansion our arch rival Hitsuyoda owns. He almost certainly waiting in the last room for us. I'm gonna kick his fucking ass, then I'm gonna destroy the law, then it'll be all... I instinctively leap forward and a gunshot grazes my uniform. But that gunshot, I heard the one I heard before. Constantly. An uncountable number of times, back when I was a trainee. A sound that I can't help but associate with memories of bringing down the illegal sex industry. Ray. The riot bullet smashes through my transceiver. I somehow manage to hide in the shadows and escape the next shot, but I break out in a cold sweat. God, I'm stupid. I totally let her get the drop on me. Now I get it. So this is what it really is like to have a gun pointed at you. This is intense. My heart is pounding so hard, it feels like I'm going to burst. The difference in our capabilities is absolutely glaring. She's no foe I can tackle with any old random plan. But I'm not backing down. I came all the way here to finish this. I entrusted the rear to Hinami. Ray! Ah! She's truly merciless, like a target devoid of emotion, only focused on eliminating its target. Damn it! I toss a birdlime egg, but she shot it down with frightening speed. Being holed up in this one location is steadily making things worse. I can't let her checkmate me. I compel her to fire upon egg after egg. I toss and use the firing interval to move from the cover of one location to the next. You got so much strength at your disposal. So why are you taking Hitsuyoda's side this late in the game? She responds with gunfire. Will she refuse to engage me verbally at all costs? However, even if she says nothing, her emotions are plainly evident. Do you really hate me that much? Is it because I'm a traitor? Because I'm an anti-coupulator? If you do, then say it to my face. Tell me with your words that you hate me, that you want to fucking kill me. Her bullets are filled with hatred. Have you been bottling everything up all this time? Choking back your feelings with rationalizations no matter how much it hurt? Unbelievably, her aim begins slipping. I closes the gap in a flash. She immediately takes a CQC stance, evading my surprise attack. Her reaction speed is incredible, as always. At this point, I'm not surprised by that anymore. You hated it, didn't you? You hated sex. Doing nothing but lusting after wanton sexual activity, didn't you? Why won't you tell them that? Why can't you just go against them? She smashes me in the jaw with her elbow and grabs me by the collar. Gah! She throws me off against the ground, nose first.
なぜ叫ばないかだと。どうして反旗を翻さないかだと。じゃあ聞くがな。貴様は日々どうやって暮らしている？霞を食って生きているのか？条例を潰すという信念が腹を肥やしてくれるのか？その信念とやらは金を振り込んでくれるのか？家族を守ってくれるのか？
Gah! Ah! She twists my arm so hard with my face against the floor that it feels like it's being ripped off from the pain.
辛い、悲しい、そんなことが関係あるか。すべて生きるためだろうが、図に乗るな。何も知らない分際で。
You never said shit! How was I supposed to know? I hit her with a barrage of words to keep myself from screaming in pain. Are you really just gonna let Hitsuyota have his way? You can't even imagine how many people would suffer just like you if he does?
構うものか。私はどんなに嫌でもこんな道を選ぶしかなかった。みんな同じ思いを味わえばいいんだ。
Ah! My joints creak and I grip my teeth to endure the pain.
反抗備勢力、非生産者。望もうが望むまいが、セックスというのはしなければいけないことで、それを拒否するなんて、私が認めない。
This is what she really thinks. She had to keep offering her body in order to live whether she desired it or not. She suppressed her emotions and desperately put up with it, even though she was compelled to do so forcefully. She can't forget people who refuse to do that. That childish in an extreme. She must know that better than anyone. In that case, why would you keep Hinami safe? Not just Hinami. Even when you find out about me, you didn't try to coerce me into sex. Why?
そんなもの決まっているだろう。
Yes, I do. So tell me.
こんな思いをさせたくなかったからだろうが。
She hit me so hard it tears the usually irremovable goggles from my face, forcefully deactivating the Rodney protocol.
こんな薄汚れた私でもひなみは手を差し伸べてくれた。だから私が守れなかったものを守ってやりたかった。
Her grip on me gradually
お
relaxes.
前は似ていると思った。島に馴染めずいじめられて、今はもう両親もなく、だけど妹がいて、大した実力もないくせに根気だけは一人前で、どこか昔の自分のようだと心を惹かれた。そんなお前が性行為を嫌悪していると知って、自分が歩めなかった道を歩ませてやりたいと、そう思ってしまったんだ。
Ray.
だがそんなものは夢物語で、私の自己満足だ。実現できることじゃない。私は風紀委員長忠須川玲。裏切り者には、条例に反する者には容赦をしない。
She presses the icy barrel of her gun against the back of my head.
諦めろ、立花。貴様は私に勝てない。
You might be right, but I'm not giving up. I spun around, turning to face her, and grabbed the gun in her hand. Then I point the muzzle right at my forehead.
何の真似だ。
You can't show mercy to me, right? Then pull the trigger.
そういえば私がためらうとでも撃てなくなるとでも思っているのか。
Not at all. It's obvious that I can't defeat you. That's a clear and present
だっ
fact.
たら潔く諦めて。
No. Have you forgotten? Back when I first got into the FS, the first thing you ever complimented me on was my bloody mindedness.
やめろ。今さらそんな話をするな。
If I'm not giving up ever, I'm going to destroy the perverted sex law, and I'm going to save you too.
助けるだと。ふざけるなよ、立花。あんな風に裏切っておいてまだそんな夢を見させるようなことを言うのか。お前は私と同じだった。この島に馴染めず背を貪ることを嫌った。だが道をたがえた。お前は抵抗する道を選んだ。私だってそうしたかった。その道を選びたかった。でもできなかった。そうしなければ私は誰も守れなかったんだ。
And you think there's any reason for you to just give up and become resigned to your lot?
あれ、条例がなくなれば私は家族ともども生きる術を失う。お前がどう思おうが平等になんて都合のいいことはできないんだよ。
She shakes her head with an expression of resignation.
小さな子供が憧れるヒーローですら葛藤して選択を迫られるんだ。それなのにこの現実に倒せば全てが丸く収まるようなご都合主義の悪者なんて存在してくれないんだよ。
Her finger tightens on the trigger. But there's no shot, only the click of an empty chamber.
どうしてだ。どうしてその銃を使わない。
You remember when you first gave it to me? You taught me to never point it at an ally.
味方なものか私が。
She lets go of her weapon. It falls to the ground, its organic clatter piercing the veil of silence.
私は家族を守りたい。 SS の仲間たちだって守ってあげたいけど、ひなみも君のことだってどうにかしてあげたいと今でも思ってしまうんだよ。
Her bitter, hot tears splash into my cheeks.
分かってる。全てを救い取る方法なんてない。でももう嫌だ。こんなことまだ続けていかなきゃいけないなんて嫌だ。
She's much more of a child than I thought. She's sobbing nakedly. She's scared. She wants to be saved. She doesn't know what to do. She wants someone to show her the way. Every word of abuse she ever shouted has meant to beat her vulnerable self into submission.
けど私はこんなところまで来てしまった。もう続けるしかないんだ。
There is a way. Even if I can't resolve everything well for everyone, if I can just choose a path that will help her and the majority of other people.
君のような人たちを何人も何人も断頭台に乗せてきた。彼らの心情を無視して目を背けて知らないふりをして。
But even if I find a way to release her from the situation, it might end up being a token gesture. Could it even heal the deep wound she accumulated over the many years? If only there was a person who could do that. If there was such a person, it's surely not me.
今さら引き返してそれで誰がこんな私を受け入れてくれる。どんなに嫌でも辛くても私の居場所はもうここにしかないんだ。
あるよ。レイちゃんの居場所だったら ずっとここにあるよ。
ひなみ。
レイちゃん。レイちゃんはずっと一人で頑張ってきたんだね。みんなのために。たった一人で。
私は違う。私は何も頑張ってなんかいない。
そんなことないよ。私は知ってるから。レイちゃんは昔から誰よりも頑張り屋さんなんだって。
違う。私は本当は変えたいと思っていた。風紀委員長になって何かを変えられればと。でも結局何もできなかった。立場にがんじがらめにされて、自分でも何がしたかったのかどんどんわからなくなって。ひなみを守りたいと思っていたのに、いつからかそんなことも思い出せなくなって。何もできなかった。
レイちゃん、ありがとう。今までずっと私のこと守ってくれてありがとう。
やめてくれ。私は何もできなかったんだ。ひなみを守ろうとして。でもこんなやり方じゃ。
そんなことないよ。今の私がここにいるのはレイちゃんのおかげだから。だからありがとう。
Ray shakes her head and desperately tries to deny what Hinami says, but she just remains speechless as her tears continue to flow.
ひなみ、私のやってきたことは無意味じゃなかったのかな。
そうだよ。一人でよく頑張ったね。偉いね、レイちゃん。だからね、レイちゃんはいっぱい頑張ったんだから、もう休んでいいんだよ。レイちゃんが座る椅子はずっとなくなったりしないから。
ひなみ、
ほら、遠慮しなくていいよ。よしよし、辛かったよね。大変だったよね。頑張ったね。よしよし、今までいっぱい頑張った分だけいっぱい泣いていいからね。これからは我慢しなくていいんだよ。もう一人で頑張らなくていいんだよ。私たちがついてるからね。
Dang, what a good scene. That was my favorite scene in the entire game. That made it like my favorite route in the entire game. I only did 2 routes, but I'm gonna be honest, that's a high that's a high hurdle for Nanase and Fumino route to surpass. I don't know if they can beat that scene, the build up with Ray and Wata. That's too good, dude. The only thing about this is the ending I'm not happy with. But yeah, man, that was a really good scene. Alright, let's keep going. It's not the end of the visual novel yet, or Wata-Chan route. I begin to load my bullets into my handgun.
ジュン君、行くんだね。
Yeah, it's time to finish this. Ray sobbed uncontrollably, like a vulnerable little girl. I'm going to finish this for her as well, so no one is ever made to cry the way she's crying ever again. Hinami, you stay here and look after her.
うん。ジュン君は一人で平気？怖くない？
I'll be fine. I know I'm not alone, after all. I just have my handgun and my bear strap. I used up all my TAEs a while ago, but these two things are all I need.
そっか。うん。いつだって一緒だもんね。勝って。帰ったら、三人で美味しいもの食べよう。
Sounds like a deal to me.
じゃあ、頑張ってこい、男の子。
Yeah, I'll be back. I step into the inner sanctum of the mansion. So he is waiting for me here. He's sitting on the floor, Seiza style, eyes closed. For all intents and purposes, he looks to be meditating. I stand in front of the door and hold my breath, getting my handgun ready as quietly as possible. My hair triggers aim right at his head. I take the ideal shooting stance and steady my breathing to not miss my target. My bullet streaks perfectly towards his target, but he dodges it. Even with his eyes closed, he needed only to move his head slightly to evade the bullet blazing towards him at the speed of sound, almost like he anticipated it.
存外卑怯な戦法を使うではないか、少年。
I was taught that as soon as your superior opponent gets the upper hand, you're already lost.
なるほど。忠須川の教えか。悪くない考えだが、残念ながら及ばなかったな。
He stands up. Even that action gives off an intimidating enough air to produce goosebumps on my skin. He clutches a katana in his right hand. His bloodlust is palpable.
では、相手になってやる、少年。
He pulls his blade out of his sheath. It's a long sword, 90 centimeters in length. The sinister gleam it gives off is clearly different from that of a reverse suppressor blade that the captain uses. It is made to tear through flesh and draw blood, a completely real sword. You're a prefectural governor. Does the Swords and Firearm Possession Control Law of 1958 mean nothing to you?
この島で今さら法律を語るのか？私は悪人だからな。使えるものは何でも使う。
Dude, that's fucked up, dude. You're holding a real sword against a teenager. What the hell? They're for a riot handgun. Not even like real bullets, rubber bullets. What the hell? Villain, huh? It's Yoda. Before we start, I want you to promise me something.
ほう。この状況で交渉か。
This isn't something for discussion. It's an order. If I win, you're going to abolish the law, but you're going to keep the FS around as well. I don't necessarily mean the FS itself, but that special scholarship of theirs. Promise me that you're going to keep that.
条例がついえれば島に流れる資金も消える。どこからそんな金を手繰り寄せるの？
You're asking me? I thought hoarding money was what you villains did best.
随分と暴論を振りかざすじゃないか。
When you're a good guy, you don't ask only for what's reasonable. I just have to whoop your ass, then everything's resolved. Happy ending, roll credits. If you're going to call yourself a villain, then somebody like me has to exist to balance things out.
強胆なのはよし。だが、私が断ったらどうするつもり？
You won't. He glared daggers at me. But I'm not backing down. He can call me irrational all he wants. After all, logic, facts, and reason, check out of here long ago, is what brought me face to face with this asshole. Talking about reason this late in this piece of is a mug's game. You won't refuse because you can. I know what kind of person you are, a pragmatist to the end. There's no condition you wouldn't accept if it's in favor of your end goal. Am I wrong?
確かに、その通りかもしれないな。いいだろう、条件をの。それが悪人としての務めだから。だが、君は一つ大きな勘違いをしているぞ、少
And that would be?
年。勝つのは私だ。
He closed the distance in a flash. If I reacted even a millisecond late, the battle would end instantly. I get goosebumps all over, and my heart pounds frighteningly rapidly. Has your eagerness to strike made you forget your objective? I thought you wanted me on your side!
この程度でくたばるようなら私の先兵には不適格だな。
Pragmatic as always.
ぬるいぞ。
I fire a right bullet, only for it to be neatly sliced in twain. This man vowed to perversify the whole of Japan. Unsurprisingly, his ability is no less insane than his mindset. Yeah! I don't stop firing, continuing to put distance between us. The instant I put myself in a disadvantage against a superior foe is checkmate for me. So I can't afford to give him a leeway.
残念だな大いに。なぜ君はそれだけの力を持ちながら行使しようとしない？
This shit again!
何度でも言おう。君がその一物を振れば国を、いや世界をも変えられる。
Bullshit! Why would I do that?
君のものはどんな女をも従える。その力がある。
Is that a fact?
いかなる女もあえぎ狂い。
Well, guess what?
誰もがその前に屈服する。
That's not what I want, asshole!
ぬるいな。
Not a single bullet, no matter how well aimed, hit his mark. I want to close in on this cunt and sock him right in the face this instant, but I grip my teeth and resist the urge. Even if I do close that gap, I'm not gonna beat him. But I'm not gonna be beaten by him either.
頂点に達したいとは思わないのか。
Fuck no! Never let him close the gap. I heighten all my senses to the extreme. I just concentrate on that.
ならばお前は何を望む？
Peace for my companions, smiles for my precious friends. Ever since my surprise attack missed, not a single opportunity to finish this has come up.
くだらんな。
My most precious friends of all helped get me this far. I'm going to make their feelings count. I don't care if it takes everything I have. I'm going to keep reining him in until I find the right opening to beat him with all my might.
平穏や笑顔などが欲しいのならば、それこそ己の国を持てばいい。究極の平和が約束される。
Fuck you, asshole! You don't know shit about me! I compel him to parry and slip aside in that instant. My most precious friend is the sort of person who sheds tears for her friends' suffering. She begged me not to suffer anymore alone. Not just me. Your little law done harm to my best friend, my favorite goddamn drill sergeant. Even if he says I got some crazy power that will let me control people, I don't care. If I were to use this power, that wouldn't make him, Inami smile. Inami? You keep exchanging violent attacks. The room is now in shambles from all the scuffled gunfire and blade slashes. The floor is strewn with destroyed furniture. So our footing is unsteady. The air is filled with scraps of shredded paper. I don't have any idea how long we've been fighting anymore. The furious battle rages with him swinging his heavy long sword and us screaming battle cries. His stamina is slowly being worn away.
ちょこまかと勝てもしないのに諦めの悪い。
Finally, he's getting worn down. I got an opening. A smirk floats into my face. You know, back when I first joined the FS, they praised me as being a thoroughly shitty fighter. But my instructor also labeled me as a bloody-minded son of a bitch who doesn't know when to give up. I point my gun at him. I have 4 shots left. That'll be enough. I went through hell and high waters to get to this point. But when I'm facing down a boomer fuck like you in a battle of endurance, I ain't gonna fucking lose!
だからぬるいと。
You lose, bitch! I fire to the left to direct his blades and approach him myself for the first time. His fatigue has slowed his reaction speed and his blade moves too slow to catch me. I close in on him and push my gun against his solar plexus. I howl in inhuman rage, firing off my last 3 shots at point blank range. And here's one for the road, motherfucker! I'm pulling out the tablet with the barrel strap attached and aim it at staggering Hitoyota jaw. He stumbles, fall to his knee. The katana slipped from his hand, and then, and eventually, finally, he falls flat on his back. I'm pretty worn out myself. I must have been running with sheer willpower. As soon as the fight ends, the strength suddenly drains from my body. I win.
まだ私は生きているぞ。これ式で負けなど認めはしない。
Spare me your bullshit panetry.
悪人だからな。だがさすがにもう立てんだ。たった一人で悪人というのも虚しいものだ。撤退時なのかもしれん。
Even now, he's reluctant to admit defeat. You're one obstinate motherfucker.
男というのはそうでなければ務まらんよ、少年。
If you say so, boomer. Man, I don't like that. I should have just called him old man. Whatever. He laughed at himself.
神野は任せた。
He says that and finally loses consciousness.
ジュン君、おかえりなさい。
I'm so exhausted, I can barely keep my eyes
お
open.
疲れ様。やったね。頑張ったね。
Just hearing her voice brings a little energy back to me. I told you I'd be back, Hinami.
ほら、おい
I leaned my head against her petite
で。
body.
よしよし。頑張ったね。お疲れ様だったね。本当に頑張ったね。偉い偉い。
Christ.
いい子。
All that suffering, all that pain, all those tears my special someone was made to cry. But all the same, if this is my reward at the end of it all, then it was completely worth
あ
it.
りがとう。ジュン君。
I am blessed to have her. And I feel that from the bottom of my heart. The end. Epilogue. Alright. The sunlight streaming in from the window wakes me from my slumber. Morning. I stretch. I feel particularly refreshed. I must have slept really well. What a great way to wake up. Alright, I'm gonna do my best again today. Shit, you startled me! What are you doing up already?
兄、今日は何の日か知ってる？
Today?
夏休みだよ。今日から夏休みなんだよ。
Oh, it is? Isn't it? Damn, I forgot.
なのにこんな早くに起きてしまった。完全に真人間だよ。健康体だよ。
Isn't that a good thing?
よかないやい。人間が生きるためには毒素ってものが必要なんだよ。こんな健康生活続けてたら毒が抜けて成人君子になっちゃうでしょうが。
Isn't that a good thing?
いやダメだね。朝ちゃんは堕落の人生歩むって決めてんだ。あんなロリッコのしつけに負けて真人間になったりしないんだい。そういうわけで今から二度寝して昼夜逆転させて超不健康生活を取り戻すから。夜まで絶対起こさないでね。
Okay. I swear she gets up in arms about the weirdest shit. As per her declaration, she returns to her room and presumably goes back to sleep. Well, whatever. She can spend her vacation however she wants. Still, it's on vacation already. I remember it coming up, but with all the shit that's been going on down lately, it completely slipped my mind. There's certainly someone been affecting my sleep schedule too. I started naturally getting up early, and now I don't know what people like this do all morning. I can't bring myself to go back to bed like my dear sister of mine. I haven't played in a Rogi in a while. I seem to remember a recent shopping spree where I got 13 lowly themed games that I haven't touched yet. But now that I have the time, I can't say I'm in the mood. I wonder why. I got up this early to go to school, but there's suddenly a huge vacuum in my schedule. I have no idea how to pass the time. The boredom's killing me, so I just start randomly surfing the net on my tablet. Sedan Island completely disappeared from the news. It wasn't that long ago that you couldn't get anywhere near social media or news sites without being bombarded with talk of the illegal sex trade, or what they call the nationwide perversion conversion. But now no one really talks about them anymore. I guess the abolition of the perverted sex law brought an end to all that. I can't keep doing this. It's amazing how much time I can kill vacantly scrolling through the internet. I might as well, since there's not really anything else to do. But it's not much of a way to spend the first day of my vacation. Might as well go for a walk. I don my glasses and step outside. I'm greeted by brilliant sunlight from above. The chirping of the cicadas is almost deafening. Before, there's always be mixed with pleasurable moans that could be heard anywhere on the island. But now, that sound is gone. Even though this is the first day of the summer break, there's not a single soul out here having sex. It's amazing how quickly Sedan Island made that seem like it was normal. It's almost weird not to see anyone out here fucking. Perhaps I'm still dreaming. I know I'm not though. I never forget the wounds, pains, and sadness that we went through to bring about this reality.
ドスケベ条例撤廃直前特別キャンペーン。ただいまドスケベランドでは一日中ドスケベパレードが行われています。バスのご乗車はあちらから。
I arrive at the beach to see Hanamura and the other senior FS members guiding tours. I like to say it's all as usual, but even here there's no one having sex.
ああ、申し訳ありません。現在指定区域外でのセックスは制限されておりまして。はい。ですので、ドスケベランドの方に。はあ。おや？立花くんじゃないですか。もしかして手伝いに来てくれたんですか？
No, I was just taking a stroll and happened to be passing by.
ですか。それは残念。はあ。
Having a rough time?
ええ。今日はまだ一回もセックスしてないから体調が悪くて。さっきからおまんこもふらついてるんですよ。
Okay.
どうしてこんな花丸な条例を撤廃するんでしょう。やっぱりあの日何かあったんですかね。
She's talking about the aftermath of my all-or-nothing duel with the governor. As per his promise, Governor Hitsuyoda retracted his proposal to expand the perverted sex law nationwide and instead declare its abolishment. Naturally, there was something of an uproar in those on the island. However, it was very close to exposure of the illegal sex trade, which drew extremely harsh criticism to Silent Island from the mainland. I wonder if that was Governor Hitsuyoda doing as well. The uproar from the islander was nothing when faced with the international criticism that cemented the removal of the law. The irony of the so-called majority that we were fighting all along being shut down by even larger, more powerful majority is not lost on me.
しかし、今はまだ一部で許可されているからいいが、本当に撤廃されたらどうなってしまうのか。
You can still have sex.
セックスのない生活なんて僕のデータにないぞ。
You can just have sex privately, not in my fucking face 24/7. God damn it.
ベルトさんはそもそも何のデータも持ってないっすけどね。
Well, I think it's probably be fine in the end.
そっか、猫花くんは貧乏だったもんね。悪くないのかな。
悪いですよ。私は撤廃なんて断固反対と言いたいところなんですが、レイ先輩がな。
She's at it again today.
いえ、今日は久しぶりにお休みだったはずです。はあ、レイ先輩が条例撤廃後の私たちの処遇について各所に取り計らってくれてるんでは、反対なんてできないですよ。
Her shoulders slumped.
姉さんもサンバカ先輩もいつまでも終わったことをうだうだと言ってないできっちり働いてください。条例撤廃後には組織の再編もあるでしょう。ここで勤勉にやっておいて次の養殖はいただきですよ。
Dang, her sister is sneaky, dude. She knows how to survive in the real world. It's like your company is getting absorbed by another company, and you want to make sure it's a position for yourself, so she knows.
リンはブレないですね。まあまあ花丸ちゃん、落ち込んでても仕方ないし、元気出してこ。
その通りだ。僕のデータがあればきっとどうとでもなるさ。
ないっすけどね。
According to my condition, the FS will continue to exist after the abolishment of the law. Discussion of the road going forward is apparently still ongoing. I don't know what they'll be doing from here on out. But even without the law, it seems to me that things will be okay for them. I leave the beach and make my way to the main street on the island. It looks the same as ever, but since it's been designated to a no-sex area, the usual excited crowd are absent. That reminds me. I abruptly change direction. I look up and see the largest hospital on the island. I wonder how she's doing. Her injuries from the battle were worse than anyone else. Hell, it's probably safe to say the perverted sex law as a whole made her suffer more than anyone else. She probably allowed visitors by now. Perhaps not right now. I turn around to head back the way I came.
立花さん。
Yeah, I can't wait for her route. I'm not gonna lie. They really made a good job on Fumino's character. They made her character really cool. I found Fumino standing right there. Her right eye is bandaged. It's a wound she suffered for our sake that day. Is it okay for you to be outside?
はい。一時的にですが、許可をいただき、元より体の怪我は大したものではございませんので。
Okay. Wait, how does that work? This bandage? I just realized that. Isn't it supposed to be like banded on her hair or something? I don't know how this works.
父のこと、朝礼のこと、ありがとうございました。お礼が遅くなってしまい、申し訳ございません。
I don't deserve thanks. Your eye.
我が瞳は皆様をお守りするためにございました。文野に悔いはありません。
I open my mouth, close it for a moment, and then open it again to speak. Will your eye get better? She probably can't bring herself to lie, and instead just hangs her head apologetically. Sorry.
どうかそのような顔をなさらないでください。朝礼のため深い傷を負ってしまった方は決して少なくないでしょう。ですがあなた様はその果てに満願を成就されました。微力ながらこの美しい島を守る一助となれたこと、私は誇らしく思います。
If we can't have a happy ending for Rei, getting her Cinderella dream, my next best thing is to make Fumino happy. If you can make Fumino happy, that won't make it up for Rei, but I'll be happy when I see Fumino happy. I can't wait for the Fumino row. She has been suffering the most out of all the characters. Fumino.
片方の目で見たからといって島の美しさまで半分になるようなことはございません。
She's the one suffering the most out of everybody in this game, yet she's still able to smile like this at the ending. Funo's too cool.
私には皆様が守ってくださったこの島は両目で見ていた頃よりもずっと鮮やかに見えるのです。ですからどうかご心配なさらず大丈夫です。文野は強い女ですから。
She gives me a stout smile. I return her brave, undaunted smile. I bid her farewell and wander aimlessly along the main street. There's still numerous vestiges from the perverted sex law visible. Even if the law is abolished and all traces of it are removed from the island, there are some things that cannot be taken away. Even once everything is over, I'll be reminded of it many times in the future. That's fine, however. They serve as reminders to me to make sure no one ever suffers because of something like that again.
ムベベ、立花さんだみさ。
Who the fuck are you?
ひどい。まだ私覚えられてないんですか？そんなにキャラ立ってないですか？
I'm kidding. You're proven too important for me to forget by now.
そんなにそれは光栄ですね。
Otori's carrying a bag from a bakery. Did something good happen to you?
ああ、いえ。ふみのちゃんのお見舞いに行こうかと思って。
Ah, okay. Those two are awfully close, aren't they? Well, maybe that's not the right word. Hotori seems to be quite fond of Fumino. Still, I'm sure Funo would be happy to hear Hotori talking about visiting her. But can you take cake into the hospital like that?
まあ、ダメだったら全部自分でいただくので。
You sure you're doing this to visit her in the hospital?
気持ちが大事ですから。そういえばケーキ屋さんから出てくるときにわたちゃんと会いましたよ。アナルが弱そうな人と一緒でした。
Her what? Perhaps you mean Ray.
あ、ですです。風紀委員長さん。
It's not very nice to call her anal retentive.
弱そうじゃありません？
Probably, but still.
しかしこれはとうとう立花さんもはぶられて美咲サイドに来てしまったわけですね。
Pass.
そういえば最近モノマネのレパートリー増えたんですよ。せっかくなんで披露していきますね。
If I say no, will you not?
ああ、カラちゃん、私ピッチなのだわ。
That's supposed to be not a say.
それは誰の真似なわけ？
It was a pretty good impression, right? Duh, you gotta get that. That's one thing Misaki did right in this row. The not say impression is pretty good.
ああ、カラちゃん、私ピッチなのだわ。
Okay, maybe not the end.
ああ、カラちゃん、私ピッチなのだわ。それは誰の真似なわけ？
It kinda do sound like not a say. Hey, good stuff, Misaki. That was funny.
本物も偽物もないわよ。
Why she would she talk like that? Damn, Misaki. Why you gotta be like that? That's funny. What a coincidence. Do you all have the same idea then?
まあ、休日に行くとこなんてこの辺りしかないものね。
I guess. I don't think we ever met in town before though, have we?
お互い人目を避けてたからでしょ。今はもうそんなことする必要もなくなったからね。
That's true. We don't need to hide in the shadows anymore. I think all our hard work was worth it.
よかったわね。本当に。
Her smile looks truly relieved. Unlike Hinami, who had no one who would approach, and Hotori, who had no one to notice, Nanase drew everyone's attention wherever she went. I'm sure she feels it more than anyone else. But since the law was repealed, that means we've done what was originally set out to do. The NONS can officially disband.
さてと、そしたら私は買い物して帰ろうかな。またね、ジュン、ミサキ。はい。では私もそろそろ今度また集まって何かしましょうね。
Because of that, there's no need for us to stay as an organization of like-minded outcasts. Yeah, see you. Now we can just be friends. Alright, happy ending. Hey! As I turn to leave, I see a couple of people I recognize and call out to them. They both turn around simultaneously. I love this. There you are! Misaki told me she saw you, so I was looking for you. You came out here too, right?
会えるなんてな、じゃないだろう。連絡見てないのか？
Huh? I pull out my tablet and look at it. I got no bars.
またか。いい加減修理に出した方がいいんじゃないか？
Repaired. Yeah, I guess it's been broken ever since I used it as a weapon against the governor.
糸浦さんの怨念かな。怖いな。除霊しなきゃな。悪霊退散、悪霊退散。
生きてるからな。そんなことしたら壊れるに決まってるだろう。
It was the only melee weapon I had on hand at the time. I'll do that later. What was the message about?
ね、今からジュンくん家に行ってもいいかなって。いいかな？
Yeah, of course.
本当？やった。これ、ジュンくんも一緒に食べよう。
She holds out her tiny hands and shows me a bag with cake in it. You plan to have a party?
レイちゃんあれからずっと忙しくて、みんなで美味しいもの食べようって約束まだだったから。
Yeah, that's right.
私は別にあまりお前たちの邪魔をするような真似は。
またそういうこと言う。もうジュンくん、ちょっとケーキ持ってて。
Yeah, okay. Oh, I love this ending so much. The three of them. I take the cake from Hinami and she steps between me and Rei. Now that her hands are free, she grabs one of each of our hands. Man, the Arthur's fucked up. Don't they look like, you know, right? Like a couple? Hinami's like their daughter. Come on, man. The Arthur knows. The Arthur knows what he's doing. He just wants us to, the Ray fans to, you know, agonize. What the hell? This is the closest thing we get. Now that her hands are free, she grabs one of each of our hands.
私たちはこういう仲なの。
How?
私はジュンくんのことも大好きだし、レイちゃんのことも大好きなの。二人とも大事なの。みんな仲良しなの。わかったレイちゃん。
You know, they should have did an ending. They should have did an ending where, Jun just go out with both of them, bro. He can have girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, 2 girlfriends at the same time. He can do that. That relationship exists. It's called Paulie something something, whatever. He can just have Rei and Hinami as a girlfriend at the same time. Why didn't the Arthur do that? Why you gotta fuck me over like this, bro?
よしよし、分かってくれたらいいんだよ。それじゃこのままジュンくん家に行こっか。
このまま手をつないだままか。それはさすがに恥ずかしくないか。
そんなことないよ。仲良しなんだもん。平気平気。
Hinami lead us all with beaming smile, as if to say that's the end of that discussion.
いや、私が恥ずかしいというか、なんというか、ひなみが、なあ、立花。
I don't know what you're talking about.
お前。
I know what she's trying to say. Rei and I walking along, holding both of Hinami's little hands between us. I'm sure Hinami wouldn't like to hear how I think it probably looks like.
嬉しいね。夢みたいだね。二人と一緒に歩けるなんてね。
Rei and I exchange a look and shake our heads. She looks so happy. I can't bring myself to break it to her.
あ、ゆきちゃん。ゆきちゃんだ。久しぶりだね。ひなみちゃん、何してるの？大好きな二人と一緒に歩いてるんだ。いいでしょう。
Oh, come on, man, Rei! Oh! I love these three. I love these three so much. Who was the last trio I liked? I forgot, there was a trio that I liked. Was it a Nukitashi? I don't even remember anymore. But these three I loved so much.
二人の子供みたい。
Damn.
二人の子供じゃないですけど。
She said. Leave it to the real Loli to broach the uncomfortable truth. Hinami immediately lets go of our hands and starts fervently explaining the real situation, telling that she and I are boyfriend and girlfriend. Yuki doesn't really seem to care.
相変わらず、ひなみは子供と仲良くなるのが得意なんだな。
Was she always like this?
ああ、そうだよ。不思議だな。こうしていると本当にただの小さな子供にしか見えないのに。
Yeah. Both Rei and I were saved by this little girl. She's so little, but she got a bigger heart than anyone else I know. That's why I fell for her.
けど、今のは面白かったな。まるで本当の恋人にでもなったような気分だった。
Really?
そうさ。
Her hair flutters in the warm breeze. Now that the usual sex seekers are gone, the island echoes with the sound of chirping cicadas. The blazing hot sun makes the ground scalding hot, And just standing here raises our body temperature. The cicadas died down, just for an instant.
立花、私は君のことが好きだよ。
See, man, why is the Arthur doing this to us, man? Why couldn't he just say yes? I love you too. Let's all three of us be together forever. That's all he had to say. Instead, he said this. There's a slight pause. The summer sunlight illuminates our flushed cheeks, her flushed cheeks. Those pale eyes are fixated on me. Sorry, I'm in love with Hinami. Oh, that broke my heart. When he said that, when he said that, oh God, oh, I freaked out. Oh no, no! Why couldn't they just add a three-way relationship? They constantly talk up the 3P, the threesome. Oh, but we could never get it. No, what more? There's no the perfect 3P. We could have girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, man. Poly, whatever, relationship, triangle. Why did Arthur gotta be like that? They gave us the saddest ass backstory for Ray. We saved her life. Not, I guess, yeah, kind of. Free her from that torturing hell of being forced to be a prostitute. She can finally give that up. Only to reject her? This is some bullshit. She suddenly smiles.
ああ、知ってるさ。
She's looking past me now. I can't tell if it's envy, nostalgia, or affection. Her innocent smile is laden with a mixture of emotions. That came out of nowhere.
驚いたか？
Yeah. She was rejected just
思
now.
っていることは口に出して言ってみろと惚れた男に言われたからね。
Her faint smile is bright and unencumbered. Man, why can't we have like 3P relationship with these two?
美味しいね。このショートケーキすっごく美味しいね。
It's because I know it's impossible for us to just go for Ray, at least in this game. The next best thing would have been a 3P. A three-way relationship. But the author couldn't even give us that, man. What the heck?
そうだろう。私の一押しなんだ。
はあ、初めて食べたな。こんなのあるなんて知らなかったな。
数量限定の人気商品なんだ。あの時間帯を狙わないとまず手に入らない。
Damn, we never seen Ray so happy before.
うんうんうん。
It's a good ending.
うん。
Could have been a perfect
デー
ending
タ落ちちゃいそうだよ。
if we just let her be, you know, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend.
慌てず食べなさい。なくなったりはしないから。
Hinami is scarfing it down as Ray looks on with a smile. It's a truly marvelous spectacle. I never expected that the three of us could relax in my house like this.
立花もそんなに気に入ったか？
Yes, please. I would like that cake. I like that the three of them together forever. So the bunny is Ray. That's kind of weird they lined it up like that. They should put Hinami's squirrel in the middle, but then it would have been weird because of that tail. So I guess they couldn't put Hinami's squirrel in the middle. It should have been like that. Man, maybe it's the symbolism. Maybe Nukitashi Part 2, Hinami Route Part 2. Ray is surrounded by her bestest of friends. Right, Tachibana, Jun, and Hinami. Maybe. Huh?
顔が笑ってるじゃないか。意外と甘党だったんだな。
Yeah.
ジュン君はみんなが一緒なのが嬉しいんだよ。
うん、そうなのか？
I'm just happy that you're happy, Ray. Yeah. At some point, I think I started fighting for your sake too. I may have turned her down, but after she said that to me, I can't help but be self-conscious.
まあ、なんだ。よかったな。思い通りになって。
Yeah, thank goodness. I feel unusually
よ
awkward.
かったって言ったら レイちゃんも無事に夏休み迎えられてよかったね。
ひなみ、その話は。
Was that not guaranteed? Oh, were you worried that after the FS was restructured, you'd be sent home?
まあ、そんなところだな。
レイちゃんね、期末試験の結果がすごく悪くて、夏休みずっと補習になるかもしれなかったんだ。
ひなみ
That bad, huh?
言っておくが全部ではないぞ。数学だけで他はまあまあだった。
What was your score?
それは本試の話か、それとも追試の話か。
I see. Yeah, I know what supplementary exam means. You failed, huh?
しょうがないだろ。今回は勉強する暇がなかったんだ。だいたい私のせいじゃないぞ。お前が立花が悪いんだ。
How's that?
なんでじゃない。授業にも集中できなかったし、課題すら手につかなくなったんだ。あの日、立花に裏切られてから。
I'm sorry. I poured salt on an open wound, didn't I? I know I did some horrible shit, but all is well that ends well, right?
やだね。ずっとネチネチ言い続けてやる。お前も夜な夜な枕を濡らせばいいんだ。
And she admitted she cried every night, dude! On her pillow! All because he betrayed her. That's how sad it made her. Please, spare me. As I grovel on the ground before her, she just pouts and looks away. Even now, thinking back to that day hurts. I don't know if I ever recover. I'm still glad though. Just being able to have joke about it, even though we parted on such hostile terms. That's more than I could have asked for.
よかったね、二人とも。
Hey man, I'm gonna keep bitching. He really should have just made him go out with Ray. It seems so perfect. Just to line up with her, right? Go out with her. Yeah. This is as happy of an ending as I could have hoped for. It's not exactly clean, and there's some doubts and misgivings to be had. It's not perfect. However, I'm truly happy now, and that's all I could ever ask for.
しかし、最良の形で SS を存続させると言っても、なかなかどうして順風満帆とはいかないものだ。
If anyone can make it happen, it's you.
条例を潰した張本人が後始末は丸投げだものな。
大丈夫大丈夫、レイちゃんには私たちがついてるもん。困ってる時は一緒に頑張るよ。
そうだな。
それよりもね、私はね、もっと大きい問題があると思うんだ。
Bigger?
うん。
それは？
私が未だにロリ扱いされちゃうこと。
Is that really that big? Pretty small scale if you ask me.
小さくないよ、大きいよ。
No, I think you look very mature. Right, Ray?
そうだな。恋人もできて随分と大人びて見違えたかもしれない。
私の目を見て言ってよ。そんな大きいおっぱいで言われたって全然嬉しくないぞ。
She does have big boobs. I thought that didn't bother you anymore.
ジュン君は好きって言ってくれるけどさ、でもやっぱり気になっちゃうもん。ジュン君にいっぱい揉んでもらっても全然大きくならないし。
もう立花、貴様、ひなみの胸を揉んだのか。
I mean, we are lovers after all.
それはそうだが、
恋人になる前にも揉まれたことあるな。
立花！
Why are you pissed off? Shit like that just happens on the sign
ジ
language.
ュン君触り方がエッチだから、私すぐ変な感じになっちゃって。
立花！
What? Why are you making such a fuss? As her lover, getting her turned on by massaging her breasts when she asks is my right and
エ
privilege.
ッチな気分になったらおっぱいも大きくなるって聞いてたのに、全然変わんないし。もうダメなのかな。
Really, you don't need to make such a big deal over it. I love you just the way you are.
あ、そうだ、ジュン君、私のこと妊娠させてよ。あ、二人ばっかりシンクロずるい。ブーン。
Don't boo us, Missy!
急に何を言い出すんだ。
だって赤ちゃんできたらおっぱい大きくなるって聞いたよ。まことしやかだよ。
Is that really a reason to get pregnant, though?
私、ジュン君との赤ちゃん欲しいな。
Hinami and my baby!
バカ者、そんな還元に飲まれるな。いいか、ひなみ、まだ早い。そういうのは卒業して結婚してからだな。
結婚か。いいな、憧れちゃうな。あ、そうだ、式の挨拶、レイちゃんにお願いしていいよね。
私が挨拶？
だって私もジュン君もレイちゃんのこと大好きだから。
そう言われても、どうしよう、立花。
Just calm down. Weren't you the one saying not to let her sweet talk lure you in?
レイちゃんじゃなきゃやだな。レイちゃんが挨拶してくれなきゃジュン君との赤ちゃん作れないな。
Alright, no more babies. I have to draw the fucking line in the sand, dude.
お前も大概だぞ。
ああ、もううるさくて寝てらんないよ。夜まで起こすなって言ったでしょうが。じゃあいいよ。レイちゃんが挨拶してくれないならもうジュン君と赤ちゃん作っちゃうもん。
待て、分かった、ひなみ、謝るな。私やるから。
4P?
Yonpi! Okay! Fuck yeah! Fuck no! The discussion has been hopelessly derailed. There's no hope of getting it back under control. Oh my god, do it! Yonpi! Ah, fuck this shit! Why don't we just make a goddamn baby and get it over with?
認めんぞ、そんなこと。
赤ちゃん含めて実質 5P?
Asune, please. I don't think any of us know what we're saying anymore. All meaning and reason have been lost. Our shouted comments become more and more incoherent, and the discussion descends further into absurdity. Still, even though the exchange is ridiculous, it's still a ton of fun. I seriously believe that no matter what life would throw at us, we can overcome it. Because we'll always be together. GG's, guys. GG's. We did it. Give me a moment. I gotta... Was it this one? Yup. Okay. Here we go. So... GG's! We did it! We finished Wata-Chan route. As you can see, her route is a lot longer than the average Nukitashi route. I just started on Nanase, so I'm not too deep in there yet. But hers is 27 chapters. Compared to Jun common route, 21 chapters. And Misaki, 22 chapters. Wata is a whopping 27 chapter. It's because, honestly, it's because there's technically 2 heroines. You cannot call Rei-chan a non-heroine. She's basically a heroine at that point, right? The only thing that would have made this perfect for me is that Rei-chan should have been a couple. They should have gotten a relationship with Jun and Wata, making a 3-way relationship. I mean, we've seen it in animes already. It's not unheard of. Freaking Neo, right? The R&B singer. He has a girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. He got 3 wives. I mean, if that relationship is real, they should have did that. Especially if it's a Nukige game. That would have been perfect. It fits the theme. And plus, forever. BFF forever and ever and ever. But, missed opportunity in my opinion. Very, very missed opportunity. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I hope Rei-chan get a happy ending in her route. But yeah, GG's. I honestly went to this route not interested because I'm be honest, it's Wata-chan. I didn't know what to expect. It's a Nukige with Wata, so I thought it's gonna be a lot of perverted loli stuff. But ended up being like the most serious route. The most serious and best writing story route. Surprisingly. It's really good about Jun joining the FS, bonding with everyone, then he had to do the betrayal and fucked up his head that he went insane. That Wata had to like bounce him back to become normal. And then he wanted to tie up his, patch things up with his other BFF now, Ray-chan. Right? He wanted to make things right. And he did. With only 6 people, he overthrew the government. That's really cool. That's really cool. I wish they could buy in a little bit of Misaki ending with Water Realm. The FS felt like it felt like a missing plot, right? We don't know what's going to happen to FS. And in Misaki route, they showed that the FS became an action. They became like heroes, right? Like Power Rangers and shit. That's Ray-chan's dream. That's what Ray wanted to be. She wanted to be a superhero. So I feel like if they incorporated that part into the ending, that would have been really good. It made it closer to perfect. For me to make it say perfect, Ray-chan should have entered the relationship. And they 3P boys. 4P with Asuna? Fuck it, yeah, let's do it. Anyway, yeah, good route. I think honestly, I don't know what I gave Misaki. I thought Misaki was like maybe a 7. Maybe a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. And Kamen Route was hilarious. I kind of like Kamen Route a lot. Kamen Route to me was like really good. Maybe like 8. Something like that. Wata-Chan, dang, I want to give it a 10 out of 10. Almost perfect, but the ending left me feeling some type of way, especially my favorite character is Ray. I want to say like it's a good high 9. Right? I think we all can agree. 9 out of 10 round. 9 out of 10 round. Almost perfect. This is like a couple of holes in the plot, like I said, FS and Ray-chan. I mean, I wanted Ray-chan to get that Cinderella ending, but, you know, at least she gets her own route, right? And Nukitashi too. Let's see how it goes. Anyway, GG's. I'm gonna go ahead and read the Nanase. See how much I can record and highlight it. If there's not too many perverted stuff, maybe I'll record most of it, just like what I did with Wata. Maybe. We'll see. Only time will tell. Anyway, appreciate everyone with me on the Wata-Chan route journey. See you guys on the Nanase route. Thank you for watching my videos and have a wonderful day. Later, bye. And go read Nukitashi if you haven't. Read it, buy it, play it. Later, bye.